My next guest is Andy Kawa, businesswoman, human rights activist, and coach, author. Pippa Hudson earlier reminding me that Andy has been with Pippa telling her story and talking about her book, Kwanele Enough, which was published close to 4 years ago now. And the latest is that she has had published on News 24, perhaps other platforms as well, an open letter to the President, to the Justice Minister, and to the Chief Justice with the headline, "My rape case is killing me. Give me a trial date." And this goes back to the 9th of December 2010, when Andy was attacked, robbed, and repeatedly gang raped over a period of 15 hours near Kings Beach in Gqeberha. And after that, she has been let down again and again by the criminal justice system. It's now almost 2 years since the Constitutional Court said that what had happened to her was sufficiently serious for her to be set a trial date to claim damages from police for the way that they didn't conduct what should have been a proper investigation. And Andy Kawa, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Now, what has happened in the time since you wrote Kwanele Enough hasn't taken your matter significantly forward in any way?
Unfortunately, I think that the resounding Constitutional Court judgment of 2022, which is a landmark case and changes the law in terms of how victims of crime, especially gender-based violence crime, can be able to appeal to the courts if their cases have not been properly investigated, and if, because of that, they have experienced harm. So that is a good judgment for the justice for women and girls and victims of gender-based violence. But the case is not over. The case will not be over until I have finalized and closed the damages case. And I think that the anguish and the emotional anguish and the struggle of depression because of this noose that is hanging around my neck continues, and it is killing me. Because until it is closed, I'm not able to heal and I'm not able to have a life.
And yet you do seem to have an extraordinary life, looking at some of the achievements that you have put together over the 13 years since that horrible event happened to you. You do somehow seem to succeed and become a standard bearer, a torch bearer for women's rights. So the fact that you've been able to do this with this background and with this foreground of depression and anguish is quite remarkable, Andy.
Well, it does come with pain and cost. I think that speaking out, and as I did even in this letter, causes victimization at different levels. And we are always afraid or what will the effects of what you do. But I am left without any options right now. I think that my life is going down, and I am seriously, emotionally depressed, and the post-traumatic stress disorder is taking a toll on me, and I cannot survive this life any longer. That is why I appealed to the humanity of our leaders, of the Justice President and the Deputy Justice President in the Eastern Cape, who can decide on a trial date to make it sooner than later. They say it is towards the end of the year. I'm not sure I will survive that. This is an emotional appeal because of my situation. And sometimes victims of rape, you find that it said somebody committed suicide without anybody knowing why. But the strain, the traumatization, the pain, and the anguish sometimes is too much to bear. And right now, I feel like I am drowning.
Sure. I hope that while we wait for this very necessary criminal process to get underway, and I hope there will be a positive response from the people to whom you've addressed this open letter, I hope that you are surrounded by people who are able to throw you some sort of lifebelt as you feel you are drowning.
It's not only me who is drowning. My family is drowning. And hence the appeal, because the seriousness of the consequences of depression and the high risk factor of suicide at that level is a reality in most cases of victims of gender-based violence. And I do not want to go silent. I want people to know what is happening to me, because nobody knows what is happening behind the four walls of my house.
Have you had any kind of response from anybody in officialdom to the open letter yet?
Not at the moment.
I hope you get it soon, because this is something that you have been carrying now for close to 14 years, and the Constitutional Court judgment was nearly 2 years ago, and you still don't have a trial date. It just, and I know that you're not alone, as you yourself acknowledge that you are not the only person in this predicament, but it just seems unconscionable that this is the situation. Thank you for speaking out as honestly and with such great vulnerability as you have. And we hope, and those of us who pray are praying, that you get the response that you need. Good luck.
Yes, I know that I'm not alone. That's why I am saying that other people have gone and died without anybody knowing why. And suicide, families have become ashamed. I don't want to die in silence. I want the people of South Africa to know that I can barely survive. I cannot breathe.
Andy, this has been heartbreaking to listen to. Thank you very much for talking to us. Appreciate it. Andy Kawa, businesswoman, human rights activist and coach. And again, I don't know if these two things are linked, but I was reading earlier today a story that quoted Becky Cele as saying that he has been working at home for the last 4 years, because police headquarters in Pretoria, Telkom Towers, that the situation there was so horrible that the place was not possible to work in. It has now been closed because there was an inspection by labour inspectors and trade unions and so on, and the conditions at police headquarters were so dire that the building had to be shut down. Now, Becky Cele is a cabinet minister. He's been aware of the situation for 4 years. And in those 4 years, he hasn't said to his cabinet colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, crime is a big problem in South Africa. We need a motivated police force with good morale. The kind of conditions that many of them are working in don't create that. I can't work there, and you know how tough I am. But in 4 years, he doesn't seem to have done anything to change a situation which just got worse and worse and worse and worse.